Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto video. For the last couple of days, I've been shouting into you guys' face that I'm buying Bitcoin, Ether, and XRP specifically. Now, there's a very good reason for that, but today I want to give you guys a small update on my trades, or more importantly, my mindset, my thought process, and how I think we are about to make some very freaking juicy gains in the crypto realm. So I want to quickly start it out with XRP here, as that's my most interesting hold for right now. It's met with a lot of criticism every single day in the comment section, but I don't really mind. I understand people are just scared and they're not willing to, I guess, bet money on something which is low right now or being sued or, in my own words, extremely undervalued. Then again, following the principles of so many books I've quoted to you guys, one of them being The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, one of the things which it quotes, or I quote, is that the lower the price is, the less risky it gets. And that's what you gotta kind of think about for a little second. We're in a bull market. Every time the price moves lower, you're basically paying less for an asset than you could have paid for. And so, theoretically speaking, you are at a lower risk than any prior point where the price was higher, right? Some people see this the other way around, for example, thinking that buying at a point like this is better than buying at a point like this. It's all a matter of perspective. I personally think that buying every single time you, for example, go below the 0.618 Fibonacci level for XP here is just juicy. We've been doing that for a very good while here. It's been paying off. And let me show you guys my most recent buy, which I've been screaming throughout the video as well yesterday. So basically every single time, and that's something that a lot of people can just do, every single time it dips below here by just buying literally, right? Juicy gains, and a couple of times it's hit it perfectly as well. But last time, and this is where I was shouting in my video to buy XRP as well, look, right, it's not crazy gains, but with leverage it definitely works out. It's about, at the peak, about 4.5%, right now about 3.3 or 3.4%. It's very nice just to get these small type of gains or small type of movements, and even though you're usually not going to get them perfect, at least somewhat is already good enough. And even though this is not everything, this is like short-term, quick amount of money, it still can actually be 50% on your trade. Because remember guys, whenever I trade on Bybit, I use 10 to 15 times leverage, sometimes more depending on how crazy the move is. For these types of very small trades, I would sometimes even use more than 15 times leverage. But that way, if you get a 3% gain times 15, you already get 45 or let's say almost 50%. If you use a little bit more leverage, you might actually get up to 100% for such a small trade, and it's actually not impossible or not too crazy. Then again, these are short-term trades. Why is it important to make the distinction between short and long-term? It's because these areas I would, for example, buy XRP in, but not really that much. It's usually where I would like to trade that I'm looking for these types of areas. I would usually more so like to buy once we get to major milestones, for example, the trend line or so, or in just packs and layers. So for example, we can buy, in my own opinion, right, a little bit once it gets above the 0.618, a little bit once it gets above the 0.5, a little bit once it gets above the 0.382 or whatever you want to do. Just buy a little bit above these layers. It's just to have a layering strategy to buy your way down, as time in the markets is better than time in the markets, yes, but pulling all your eggs into one basket straight away is almost never a safe idea. For your own peace of mind, it is usually a better idea to keep some money on the side rather than invest everything to be able to buy the dips. And that's of course also what I'm doing with XRP. And so in terms of spot buying, I'm not doing the craziest just quite yet. It's going to come up here soon though, I think, or at least I hope. Following the trend line as well, I guess we can theoretically speaking just try to buy every single time it hits the trend line too, because that is usually a very, very good reversal point. And I guess that's another thing, right? But right now, we're just still buying XRP and still going long on XRP because I still see the upside in the short term and, of course, the longer term in terms of lawsuit. And also, again, from this perspective here, it's just this area for XRP has been so freaking, quote-unquote, annoying depending on how you look at it. Every single thing around $1.07 for XRP has just been kind of, quote-unquote, awful. Now, I've also been shouting yesterday to buy Bitcoin and the day before as well. People actually were really kind of angry at me, I think. My average buy for Bitcoin over the yesterday was, I think, like 60,600 or so, which is, let's say, maybe it's a little bit lower than that, maybe 60,400. So it's a little bit above my actual demand zone for XRP right here. But basically, I wanted to buy in that area because it's, again, a very good retest. We explained that with a couple of Fibonacci levels as well. For example, the 2414. You can see it was a very, very good retest. I tried to buy in at that area, but I was not successful all the way through. The day afterwards, the price went down even a little bit further, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the price went down a little bit further. I saw a lot of people in the comment section get very angry, but the thing is, stick to your principles, know what you're holding, know what you're doing. Don't doubt and follow the strategy. All right, if you're zooming in a little bit, you can actually find yourself a head and shoulder pattern on the Bitcoin charts as well. But generally speaking here, guys, things are just looking good. You can clearly see a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern forming here. That again, I think we are already starting to break out here as, well, Bitcoin is just in a really good position right now. Bitcoin is just in a really, really good position right now. Really, really good. And that's because we just hit an all-time high. And just following logic, we're going to continue on with that, guys. It's just logic. It's common sense. Whenever Bitcoin breaks an all-time high, it usually goes further for quite a little bit, then moves over into altcoins, and then moves over into the really, really small coins. It almost always moves that way. And don't forget, guys, adoption of crypto is just keeping on going with like a freaking rapid train pace. Rapid train pace, all right? Here we got some crypto news for right now, which you might say is definitely, kind of interesting. At least to me, it's kind of interesting. Breaking. The eNaira wallet is now available for download. The last time I covered this was yesterday. Then it was said it was going to launch tomorrow. And I have my doubts because I didn't really know exactly what they would pull through, but they actually did in a full fashion, with quite some severity, and it's coming in quite hot. Let's put it like that. It's coming in quite hot. They're doing their best, and it's definitely interesting to watch. Let me put it like that. Now, for the eNaira, all I actually wanted to show with that is that adoption is pulling through. I'm not actually involved with any of this myself, nor do I actually know the real details of the eNaira and what it actually entails, because every CBDC is inherently different. The purpose can be different, but also the way it was built can be different. Yet, it depends on all those factors on whether or not it's good or bad. In the end of the day, CBDCs are nice for the adoption of cryptocurrencies or digital currencies for the people, but it's mostly a control measure from a government perspective. You and I both understand that they wouldn't adopt a CBDC standard if there weren't any heavy benefits involved for them, and there are, and we all know it. Those who did homework on Bitcoin ended up investing in it, Scaramucci remarks. Hedge fund manager Anthony Scaramucci believes that anybody who diligently examined Bitcoin and understands the crypto's inner workings would be persuaded of its potential. Indeed, the Skybridge Capital founder and managing partner, who was speaking on CNBC's Capital Connection program on Monday, stated, "Do your study on Bitcoin and make sure you understand what it is. And among other things, read the Bitcoin white paper written by the developer of the crypto." Scaramucci added, "Anybody that does the homework ends up investing into it. Look at Ray Dalio, a Bitcoin skeptic, now a Bitcoin investor. These are brilliant guys who did the homework and drew a conclusion that they needed to own a piece of Bitcoin." And it worked out for them. Now, one side note I should quickly mention is over on Bybit right now, there is a 3.5% deposit bonus. Basically meaning you can get up to $3,500 plus another, I think, following a different measure, another $1,000 bonus. And again, guys, $3,000, $4,000 worth of bonuses can actually turn into a couple $100,000 to trade with. Don't forget that. Bonuses on platforms like Bybit are huge because with leverage trading, usually if it's your own money, you're a little bit more hesitant to use it. With a bonus, you can earn a freaking ton of money. Let's say, for example, you opened an XRP long with your bonus money a little bit ago, right? Let's just talk about that. So let's say you open it right there yesterday. You opened your XRP long. Right now, you'd, for example, be in, how much should we say? We're going to say, can I press shift? No, I cannot. Let's do measure then like this. Let's say you got into about 4% profit. If you did it with 50 times leverage, that is 200% profit on your money. Hopefully you guys get that. That could have happened like in a day just now on the money that you got for free. Or you could see it like this. You could have basically traded with 50 times the amount of money that you had, which could, for example, turn out to be $3,500 times 50 is about $175,000. And then a 4% gain on that. You guys get it, right? You guys get it. That's about $7,000 for free. All right. But that's, the side note. Just check out Bybit. A link is down below. There's so many cool bonuses. People hate me for talking about it, but I personally think it's very, very nice. Then Binance Bitcoin balances are draining. 40,000 Bitcoin moved away from the biggest crypto exchange. Another, I guess, thing to say is that people are hoarding Bitcoin right now. There's no doubt in my mind that Bitcoin will keep going up as the time passes on. It might go in phases like anything in life. It goes up and it goes down. But the general idea is people are greedy, and it's basically a deflationary thing. Even though Bitcoin is right now inflationary as it heads up to 21 million, we all know that the amount of Bitcoin available will never exceed 21 million and will actually only keep going down as time moves on. So from my perspective, it's all quite deflationary, very opposite to the government dollars basically. But then also think about this. If all the people were all of a sudden not trading their Bitcoin anymore, just keeping it and holding it, the value would just have to go up because nobody's selling it anymore. And that's ultimately, logically, because of supply and demand, what makes the price go up. But the fact that people are taking the money out is logical, yet it's right now more and more than ever. And since it's deflationary in essence as well, we can actually eventually come into a liquidity problem or a demand or even supply shock, I guess I should call it. Supply shock in the sense that there's not enough supply for all the demand that's out there. Could be interesting. Could be very freaking interesting. Again, a liquidity problem would actually only arise if the Bitcoins that are being handled are not liquid enough themselves. And I guess that's really, theoretically speaking, possible if there's a really high price where a small portion of a Bitcoin is then what's being hodled, not the Bitcoin himself. But you guys get it. All right, guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully, you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. I want to try and hit some cool like number today, so just make sure you press that button. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.